guys, it's Grace with Grace Gets Gastric, and I am here today for a belated 2-year post-op VSG update video. So my 2-year anniversary of my VSG surgery was January 2nd, 2018. And obviously this is about a month late, but a series of events conspired to push this off a little bit to get the, I really wanted to get progress photos and I had to have someone else take them. And I wanted those progress photos to be right before my plastics, so here we are. But anyways, why don't I start us all off with stats? So, hello again, my name is Grace. I'm 5'8", 29 years old, and on January 2nd, 2018, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, or VSG weight loss surgery. My highest weight ever recorded was 354 pounds in May of 2017, and I was required by my insurance to do a 6-month medically supervised weight loss diet, and over the course of that 6 months, I lost 35 pounds, so my starting weight date of surgery was 319 pounds. On my 1-year anniversary, I weighed in at 199.4, and on my 2-year anniversary, so on January 2nd, 2020, I weighed in at 199.2. So that is a loss over the course of a year of 0.2 pounds, a loss since my surgery of 119.8 pounds, and a loss since my highest weight of 154.8 pounds. So those of you who are regular watchers, you'll know that I was a little bit up at the beginning of this month, just right after the holidays. So I'm generally, my happy place is a little bit lower than that. But overall, I mean, I was happy to weigh in at the end of this year, or sorry, at the end of my second year, lower than the end of my first year, even if it was just barely. I actually went through and I looked at my my Fitbit, because I have a Fitbit scale and it syncs, and so every time I weigh, it records it onto my phone. And so I went through and I looked at, over the course of 2019, sorry, what was my lowest weight, what was my highest weight. So kind of what was my weight range. And so my lowest weight over the past year was 185.6 pounds. I don't think that was ever a weight I came at you guys with. It was in between weigh-ins. It was obviously only there for a second. I was in the high 180s, like 186, 187 for a couple of weeks, and then kind of bounced right back up. So, and to kind of 192-ish is my happy place, I would say. And then my highest weight was briefly in December during the height of alcohol and cookie consumption, and was 204.3. So that is a range of 18.7 pounds, which is a little bit wild to think about, the fact that I had kind of fluctuated that wildly, but at the same time, for most of the year, I'd say I'd spent most of the year in the low 190s, which is kind of where my body is happy. So I call it the year of maintenance. I mean, because technically I started and ended the year almost at the exact same weight. I did maintain for most of the year, I would say basically the entire year, save a couple of different fluctuations in the low 190s. And that is, I'd say where I'm happy. So that is interesting. I think, I rewatched my 1-year video before filming this, and I definitely didn't realize, I think I thought I would get a little bit lower, but my body kind of, I feel like, hit a set point, and I was also I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with the amount of eating, and I also felt like I kind of hit a bit of a brick wall in terms of perhaps both physically and mentally, in terms of any potential future weight loss with all the loose skin. And I really felt like until I took care of the loose skin, it was just really hard to get an idea of where my body's at. To be honest, I don't even think after I get rid of the loose skin that I am going to want to lose more weight, partially because what will be the point of getting plastics if I plan to lose more. My focus will really be on toning, and I do think, I am going to lose some weight I will likely lose some weight from just getting this loose skin off. So I'm curious to see where I end up, though of course I'm not having plastics to lose weight, which, if you're new here, hey, I'm getting plastics. I believe I'm filming this video and I'm planning to have like a really quick turnaround. So, I am getting my plastic surgery on January 29th, 2020. So in a couple days, I think, from when this video is going up. And I will link the playlist down below that has all the videos I talk about, where I talk about that. But that was definitely one of like the big things that happened this year, was scheduling my plastics, preparing for them, and going through with them. It is interesting to, I have said before that I try really hard not to make goals that are not behavior based. So I don't say like, I want to lose 5 pounds in a month, because that is an outcome, not a behavior. So I make goals on the behaviors that will hopefully get me to that 5 pound loss. And I also was trying to be very careful throughout this whole process of not having too many expectations, because I know it goes so differently for everybody. And I did not want to feel frustrated or disappointed if my experience was different from what my hopes and expectations were. But all that being said, I did have a couple of like low-key hopes. So like for the first year, I really low-key wanted to lose an average of 10 pounds a month. So that would give me 120 pounds lost in a year and get me to Wonderland, which happened. That almost exactly, it happened, which was awesome. And then I had kind of had this low-key thought that I wanted to hit goal and maintenance at about 1.5 years post-op. And then I would have 6 months to maintain, because they recommend that. And then I would schedule my plastics for around my 2-year mark. And again, that pretty much happened. When I didn't really like hit an official, like, this is maintenance, I just sort of happened. But I would say it happened around the 1.5 year mark. My plastics is happening about 2 years, a little more than 2 years post-op. And it's kind of cool. Like I just sort of had this like idea of how I would like things to work out, and it's nice that they did. So I had my 2-year post-op appointment, and that went fine. My labs are all good. They're very excited and happy for me and my progress and all that stuff. And I got a SECA, which is their body composition. It's, I think, the biometric or bioimpedance. It's the kind that like does a little electric shock type thing. That sounds intense, but sorry, I'm just looking at the results. So I have my scan from my, I don't know where I put my 1 year scan, or I think I might have lost it, but I have the one from 2 weeks after surgery. So and then the one that I got this month, so at 2 years post-op. And it's just like super, sorry, it's just super interesting to really be able to see, like, basically surgery day, I had 168 pounds of fat. And now I have 77 pounds of fat and skin. I'm so curious to see what all of this stuff looks like without the skin, because I just feel like the skin is so obscuring. But I have more than, it's like I've lost more than half of my fat mass. And what's cool, it's like, so I was gonna do math and I didn't. But essentially, like, what is that? Like 90 something pounds, around 90 pounds of fat that I lost. And then in terms of my fat-free mass, I was 121 pounds now. And I was 140 pounds of fat-free mass. So that means that I have basically lost 19 pounds of not fat, which, like ideally I would not have lost any of my my lean body mass, but that ratio is not a bad one. It was also cool that my my skeletal mass in terms of my skeleton and my muscle is definitely on like the high range. So you can see these little graphy things. I'm at the top of all of them, which just means that I am quite, like the high range of normal for all of them means I'm fairly dense, which is good because you want to be, that means that I have a good amount of muscle mass. And yeah, it's just interesting and cool to like really see the changes. And I'm even more excited to see what those changes look like when I no longer have the skin, because I do think that like the skin is reading as fat, but I also think it's reading as more fat than it is necessarily, because it's it is empty, but it's still like quite voluminous, if that makes sense. So I think it's reading more as more than it is, which maybe is me just like being crazy, but I do think that it is definitely obscuring things. So I'm very curious to see how that changes. But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of it. The year of maintenance, sort of. The year of, I mean, really just this year, this is like the first year of my life of my adult life that I spent as a straight size person. And by that, I mean somebody who can fit into non-plus size clothing, right? This was the first like calendar year of my life where I worked out consistently every single week. Multiple times a week I was at the gym. The longest that I went without going to the gym was during my trip to my, 2-week trip to Peru is the longest that I've gone without working out. And I mean, I was getting plenty of exercise in while I was there, just not at the gym. But that is the longest that I've went without going to the gym. Even when I was on my smaller trips, when I went to Chicago, when I went to Florida, when I, went to Florida again, I was working out. So that's cool. That's really cool that I did that, because that is something that in my entire adult life has never happened. And it is interesting to realize that like this really is my life now, right? Like now I've got the plastics coming up, and I know that that's kind of like the big next thing. But once that's done, I'm kind of done. I mean, and not done in the fact that like you're never really done. Like this is constantly a work in progress. I'm always going to need to be working on things, and there's always things to like experiment with and improve on. But like the actual weight loss is over with, and the idea is really just, it's kind of optimization, if you will, which is strange. And I'm really curious to see, I've had so far 2 different years, right? Like the first year was really weight loss, obviously, all weight loss all the time. Second year, there was definitely some weight loss. There was some ups and downs, but it was really focusing on like learning how to live life and eat and fitness, nutrition, all that stuff at this kind of weight, this size. And now this third year, I am having plastics again at the beginning of this year, so that I will both have the recovery, both physical and mental, from that, and then relearning all of this stuff all over again with my body for a second time. And so obviously I will be taking all of you guys along with me for the ride, but it's a little bit, I don't know what to expect yet. I think it's going to be another very different year. I've had 2 different years in terms of sort of what to expect and what happened with this kind of weight loss journey. And I do think that year 3 will also have its own set of challenges and rewards. But enough about that. Why don't we get into the body shots? So I'll go ahead and throw up my photos on the screen as always for these videos. So on I believe on one of the sides, I always forget which one, you will be seeing me the day before surgery. In the middle, you will see me at 1 year post-op. And on the other side, you will see me at 2 years post-op VSG. So, you've seen the front, the side, the back. Obviously, I am wearing more or less the same clothing, but some of that has had to change as I have changed and have no longer fit into some things. But what do you think? Can you see a difference between years 1 and 2? I do think that despite the fact that my weight has not significantly changed, I do feel a difference. I do feel like I look different. I feel like, not significantly, obviously, but I do think that there is a visible difference just in my body composition. But I don't know. You guys tell me, what do you think? Do you think that you can see a difference? I've got these before photos. These are, like the year 2 photos right now are my after photos, but they're also going to be serving as my before photos when I get plastics. So that's pretty wild. I mean, obviously I know this is my year 2 video, but like plastics is just a massive thing. And of course it is kind of constantly on my mind. But anyways, I think that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about for my year 2 wrap up. Thank you guys, as always, for being here with me, for all of your love and support. I do really think that a huge part of the reason why I have been so successful over these past few years is because I've had you guys to talk to keep me accountable, to relate to when I've gone through some struggles. And so it really does mean a lot, both that people have found my videos and found them helpful or inspirational in any kind of way, and that you guys have been able to provide that support when it has been necessary. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch, to like, to comment, to subscribe, to do all those good things. If you're not already following me on Instagram, you should do that. I update over there daily. So if you want more of my face, you can find me over there. But thank you again, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful January, and I will talk to you all very, very soon.